everyone, and welcome to 10 with TJ. Today I have two incredible people with me who are two of my favourite people in the world because they just bring smiles to my face whenever I see them, whenever I see anything on social media or get to see them in person. They are beautiful. And I have our lovely Donna Easton. And Donna is a joyologist, and she turns up the vibrancy dial on your life. And it made me sort of giggle because I remember being at school and I don't remember the careers officer ever offering me to be a joyologist. So I think that needs to be written down for future, Donna, don't you? Yeah. So joyologist, and she's going to explain what all that means in a moment as well to us. And then obviously Nick Eade, who I've known, I was trying to work out how long ago I met you, so but I don't think we're old enough for me to say that many years, my lovely. So yes, a very new friend. And Nick is a branding and cultural expert, and he's a broadcaster, he's a businessman. And the way I know Nick predominantly is because he is a charity campaigner, and he has a beautiful charity called Style for Stroke, and I've been very blessed. I attended the spring ball alongside the Melissa Bell Foundation as well, wasn't it? We had that as well. And today I'm wearing my Love Takes Time t-shirt, which is, you can support the charity by buying clothes, which I just think is the best thing ever. So all that information will be afterwards. So I expect you all to be in your t-shirts next time I see you, my friends and followers. So guys, we are wellness joyologists. You both also created Joyology, didn't you? Which is like Joyfulness. What, that word, just as soon as you say the word joy, it just makes you smile, doesn't it? It does make you smile. But what was the thought process behind that? Obviously, apart from bringing all that magic, but how did you two come up with this? How did you meet? What's going on? Tell me your story.
Donna.
Okay.
So Nick and I met in the middle of a field on stage. We were kind of thrust together by the planets and the universe, and we sat on stage together, and we kind of platonically fell deeply and majestically in love. And we realized that joy, and so me as a creator of Joyology, Nick as a creator of the Revolution of Kindness, we realized that those two, kindness and joy, are just such beautiful bedfellows. They sit together so beautifully, and basically both of our missions were aligned in the world. So I wanted to bring more joy, Nick wanted to bring more kindness, and so the two of us were kind of that was the first kernel of the idea. But then we realized that both of us had this kind of wealth of business stuff that we also have accrued in our lives. And so I was head of commercial for a media organization. Nick has his PR agency, East of Eden, amongst a multiple of other things. And so the two of us kind of realized that actually, not only could him and I bring joyfulness to the world, but actually we could set this up as a business and start to help businesses, help organizations to bring joyfulness to the very core of the work that they're doing.
Yeah, and we find, the thing about it is that, and we've always said this, is that I was feeling that joy and kindness are kind of misconstrued. They're perceived in a very funny way. People don't think joy, they just think of bright colors. Kindness was kind of weaponized during the pandemic, and you kind of made to kind of feel guilty if you didn't feel kind towards something. It was used as, it wasn't a superpower. It's actually used in quite a negative way that I felt. And so one of the biggest things we thought was that actually you can still be kind and full of joy and still have an opinion. That's very, very important. But what we wanted to do is that in your everyday life, whether that's in your work or whether it's front facing commercially or internally, if you can add an element of joy and kindness into the things you do, then that will really help you. And then that will also help your customers, your clients, your friends. And it's just a way of rewiring, circuit breaking and creating conversation. And that's kind of where we are now. And it's very exciting, TJ. We're really launching officially in September, Joyfulness, and it's going to be just interesting to see where we go and what we do and who we can bring joy and kindness to.
You know, I love the fact as well that you're bringing it like to the business world, to the corporate world as well, because sometimes they get left behind, don't they? Do you know? So if you launch this in the spiritual world, where I predominantly spend my time, although I am a businesswoman, you know, people forget, you know, that going to work, if you work in an accountant's every day, you still want joyfulness, you still want kindness, you know, and all the other businesses as well. And kind for me is a word, you know, I remember almost like describing someone as kind and they just looked at me as if it was sort of like I hadn't said a big enough word to them. But kind to me should be always in capitals. You know, I've always thought that. I think my husband said to me, he fell in love with me because I was kind. And my first thing was like, oh, not because I'm stunning and good, you know, those are, but when he said that to me, it really touched my soul, because I thought, you see me as kind, and that, to be kind is just beautiful, isn't it? But as you say, there's been a lot of negativity attached to that, hasn't it? And you don't really just want to have it as a buzzword. You want to have it as a real word, you know, because joy and kindness shouldn't be buzzwords. They should be life words, shouldn't they?
They should be words that you implement as you do with a supplement of your bodybuilding, or if you're running, the water you have. And one of the things, just going back to business, which is really interesting, is that there is a huge problem in business since Brexit, but, you know, probably before. And there's one thing that's happening, which we've been talking about, which is called stealth quitting. People are quitting their jobs and actually not having anything to go to because they just don't want to be in the industries that they're working in. And that's obviously causing loads of issues from employment and, you know, lots of unemployment. And that's obviously, you know, a big issue for the government. But from our point of view, we're like, why is this? Why has this happened? There could be very simple things within the workplace that just need to be changed. And we feel that joyfulness could be one of those things that you need to bring into the businesses and the industries, and give people a voice and give them their kind of their joy back, and feel happy about where they work. Because if you're quitting and you're not telling anybody because you think it's better not to work, then that's an issue.
And the knock on effect,
I think,
you know,
absolutely. And I think if you attach kindness with joy, you can kind of create a little bit of a sort of oxymoron there as well, because actually the kindness is in the understanding that we're not always going to be joyful, right? Like, we know that sometimes life is going to do this to all of us. And actually, I think what joyfulness does, it kind of spotlights empathy as well. So an understanding that we're all human beings, we're all just trying to like get through this crazy ass thing called life, and this crazy day at work, and this crazy kind of system that we're all in. And actually, some days, I think so often we'll walk into work with this kind of work mask on, this sort of person that arrives, and actually, like, their world can be falling apart at home, and yet they daren't show that in the office. Whereas actually, joyfulness is about understanding that we're all human beings living this human experience. And actually, we are going to have these days, weeks, months where we're going to be like unraveling. And actually, can we build a bit more resilience around the unraveling? But also, can we develop empathy among the human beings that you surround yourself with, to understand that we're not always going to have rainbows flying out our ears? Like, it's not always going to look like that.
Yeah. And I think sometimes the pressure as well, isn't it? Like you say, you know, I'm not saying men, you know, have it any different, but, you know, menopausal women, you know, my age group as well, when you feel like unmotivated, you don't feel joyful. But if you were in a motivated workplace, you know, where you feel like, today I'm just not going to be 100%, but everyone around me is being kind and they're understanding that I'm not going to be 100% today, I think that would bring your levels up, wouldn't it? So whereas you think I'm only going to be 20% of myself, with the empathy, the joyful, the kindness around you, then you're going to elevate, aren't you? You might not hit 100%, but at least you're going to feel more supported, more connected as well. And I think
100%.
That's important. The whole thing of connection is so important. And, you know, statistically, men and male suicide is a really big problem. And it's one of the biggest reasons is that men, doesn't matter if you're gay or straight, or we are weirdly predisposed really not to tell people our feelings and really talk about how we really feel. And again, one of our biggest things is in the whole joyfulness idea is that we ask people how they are twice. Because if you ask someone once, they'll just go, yeah, I'm fine, that's it. You ask them again and they go, okay, well, actually, you want to listen to what I've got to say. And I'll be honest with you and say, my day isn't very good. And we're not there to go, okay, just pepper some joy in, you'll be fine. We're not doing that. We're just saying, let's bring it into this environment so it makes it less alien for you. And you don't think it's too, you can actually feel that you're part of a good thing in a good workplace or whatever situation you're in, you feel you can talk to somebody about it. So that's kind of a really important part of what we do. It's mental health, but it's also it's a full 360 of somebody to understand.
Absolutely. And we're not coming in exactly as Nick says with this sort of toxic positivity vibe, because that is that's just so much more damaging than not doing anything. It's kind of this it's connecting, understanding that that we're human beings all doing our thing, right? And also helping people understand that there are things that they can do, really simple things that they can do that start to shift that state and start to alter that state. And so we're about not adding a whole bunch of jobs onto your to-do list to kind of help you like enter this kind of well-being state. It's actually saying like, hang on a second, we've got real lives. Like, what are the simple little things that we can do that we can like pick and choose from our kind of smorgasbord of happiness stuff that actually we can fit into our lives and really start to shift our emotional state.
Yeah. I think that in small things, because so many times you see, a lot of people are trying to get us to do like 12 things, do this. And I think if you're overwhelmed already, even one or two things can be difficult, can't it? But just one thing, let me change this week, and then maybe I'll add number two next week. So I think your whole ethos of joyfulness is also, and kindness is about being joyful and kind to ourselves, isn't it?
100%.
And that's amazing to bring. If we all did that, the knock-on effect, the domino effect is going to be incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, we're not here to shame anybody. And I find, if you scroll through Instagram and you see someone who did, 12 things I did today that make me feel great. Like you say, I can hardly probably get to 3, but you feel shamed that you've got to find another 7 because you're like, oh my God, actually, I can't even add up numbers, you can tell. That only made it up to 10. But the idea is that we're not here to shame. We're here to say, look, just do something extra. And if you don't want to, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just about being able to have the ability to understand that we're here to help and support. And hopefully Joyfulness will implement lots of great things within businesses, both, professionally, privately, and holistically.
Yeah, I think you're going to reach further than just businesses as well, because I know my community, I know we're all part of the spiritual community, but my community, I deal a lot with people with grief as well, and you say, how are you feeling? And the answer is, isn't it very British? Like, yes, I'm okay. But I've given permission to people that one of my friends, I met her in the supermarket, and I knew it was the first Christmas without a mum. And we're in the supermarket, and I said, are you all right? And she said, yeah. I said, don't lie to me. I said, and excuse the language I'm going to use. I said, you can have a really shitty Christmas, and you're probably going to have a really shitty New Year, but I'm giving you permission to have that. And, and her whole energy changed. And I think that's what it is. It's giving people permission to not feel like this, but there are ways for you to bring yourself back, because the minute I gave her permission to have the shitty Christmas, her energy changed. And it was like, I don't have to pretend. I can just be me. And I think that's what your joyfulness is bringing, isn't it? It's that 100%. Understanding, be yourself. It's so I'm so excited for you. I can't wait for people to come and see you at festivals and be in your person, because I know what incredible people you are, and I love the fact you're very genuine people. Donna, we had a chat actually at the Spring Ball, didn't we? And we're saying about you can't be happy every day, and we can't be, but being able to be unhappy or just feel a little bit down is perfect, isn't it? genuine and authentic.
Genuine, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's lovely, two genuine, authentic people are not just like, oh, this is a buzzword, let's roll with it and see what we can do. I know, because I know you both personally, but I know you really care about people, and I know that's going to translate to your audiences, you know.
And the weird thing is as well, TJ, is that, you know, I never ever thought that I would do festivals and all of that kind of stuff. And what we've realized is that actually we don't even have a script.
No.
We literally rock up and we see the people in the audience and we just have a conversation. And we talk about our own experiences, and we're not, you know, and we talk a few anecdotes and make everyone laugh, but they all come literally at that particular time. But what we get is we get people who really open up and they ask us these questions. Now, I feel I've always, as you know, had imposter syndrome for a long time. But weirdly, I don't actually feel I've got imposter syndrome when I do this, because I'm a bit like, well, actually, I've been through this and I can tell you what to do. Donna knows exactly what we're doing, and we're really just coming from something genuine, like totally and utterly genuine. It's not like television when I'll go on a show and judge people's clothing, you know, that it doesn't come naturally to me because I'm not a nasty person. So becoming the Simon Cowell of style when I did it was quite tough, because so I've had that imposter syndrome because it wasn't me. But sitting in a field with 100 people telling you about their lives and replying to them is the easiest thing ever, and I love it.
I love that. I love that.
Make me cry.
Oh no! Oh no! I'm trying. Don't do that. It just, but that you can feel it just comes straight from your heart center, do you know? And that's just incredible. And it is when you find who you are and you can be totally authentically you. That's just and you guys are going to almost give permission to those people that are not allowing themselves to be true to themselves, and that's incredible. Yeah, I can't.
It's such a beautiful point, Nick. I think that, like, as you were saying that, I just like got all weepy because I feel exactly the same. It's like you were like speaking from my heart as well. It's like that's exactly it. Is that actually, you know, at moments in my life where I have felt at a place like beyond rock bottom, and and the if I look back at the me then, and then I imagine like my goodness, I hadn't thought for a second that like that would lead to this. And actually you're right, it's that just like it's showing people that there's another side, there's another way of doing it, and noticing the things in the world around us that are just so beautiful. We've been fed so much negativity. We know as smart human beings, we know that negativity sells, right? We know that. And so actually, when you start selling good stuff, interestingly, in the past, it hasn't really been a thing that people have been craving. But I just think there just seems to be like a shift in the consciousness of the world, and people are going like yes please, like can we access stuff in a slightly different way please. And I think that that's what it is. And if when it comes from like the depths of our soul, it's just real, it's real shit, right? It's the real stuff that we're handing back. And yeah, it's beautiful. So yeah, Nick, that was
it was both of you. That's what I mean. You are just, that's why I wanted to speak to both of you, because I want anyone that follows me to know what you two are offering, because it's healing, it's life-changing, and it's empowering, you know, without having to be those buzzwords, you know. So because it's genuine and authentic. And when are you, so you're launching Joyfulness in September, so when can we see you on stage again?
Well, we're doing Carfest, which is at the end of August.
Yeah, that's 23rd, is it?
23rd of August. And then we are doing the Verve Festival, which is in September. And then we are, if you go onto Joyfulness online, you can subscribe there, and we will start to create some fabulous content. We've done a collaboration with Scamp and Dude, the fashion brand, and we're going to do lots of more sort of fun collaborations. and we're Joyfulness, the two of us, and then we're launching Joyfulness Studios, which is our business, which will basically be where we are consultants to businesses, and hopefully really bring some great joy and kindness to all the things they do. And if you look, you'll see lots of drinks brands and lots of beauty brands are all using the words joy, and lots of them using kindness, but sometimes they're not using it particularly in the right way, or we want to come in and just say, look, this is where we think you can do it. And it's very exciting.
Yeah, and make it meaningful. Yeah. Well, I will make sure that when that we have all that information out on all my socials as well. So I might actually see you at Carfest then.
Fabulous. I'm on the right day though. Make sure you come on the right day. And I think we're going off to do some cooking at Cuisinart as well, so that'd be quite fun too.
Brilliant.
Some joy
on
and
a Saturday we're there.
In the Saturday, that's right, the Saturday.
At Carfest on Saturday.
Yeah.
And TJ, we're sorry we couldn't come and do your festival. I'm not around, but we will do something with you in the future, because you're a fabulous person. And whenever I see you, I mean, it's great seeing you here, but when I see you in real life, you've got such an amazing aura. I feel calm. Like even in my charity event, which is the most stressful thing ever, and my husband wasn't there, he was away, and I was kind of quite stressed out by everything. Like just looking at you kind of really grounded me, so thank you for that, and your support for Star for Stroke. It's so important.
Oh, it's so important, isn't it? And I just love that you bring, you're somebody that we want to donate to, because obviously it's so close to your heart as well, and so many people's hearts, as you know. And it's the charity that's, stroke is not looked at as it should be, and I know you advocate for that very much so, but I always feel like you always give back as well, so it's not just here's a pot, give me money, because it's kind of like, this is what I'm giving you, and just giving us yourself, Nick, when you're doing that is incredible. So
those events, I've done millions of events all my life, and there's something special about it because they're small and intimate, and and I've gone to so many where it's expensive for a ticket and they want more and more money, and then you feel like this is a formula. Whereas I've always said, with what Alexandra Burke and I do, we want to make this, you're like in our front room with us, having the best time, best food, and people have genuinely met, so many people have connected from these events. Like I've been doing this for 25 years, an event a year, but at these ones, it's just incredible, the friendships, and like even you two meeting, you didn't know you were going to meet. Now, it's very special.
Yeah. No, it is.
Yeah,
it is. I think it is, Donna, isn't it? You do feel, you don't feel like you're just a number in a room. You feel like we're all celebrating, and sharing with you and Alexandra, and we're all there for the right reasons, because it just comes from your heart, and that's how you two are. I think if anything, and I don't mean to be like a woo-woo about it, but I do think if anything's heart-centered, it's going to get out there, because you can't fake that. You can't pretend I'm going to be genuine. You feel it, and I don't need to wish you luck with Joyfulness, because I just feel like
please wish us luck.
Yeah, no, I don't think you need it though, because I just feel once people are on the Joyfulness train with you guys, they're not going to want to get off, and having not just individuals change but companies change. I think that people don't look at that, and you two have really looked at what you can bring. And yes, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then in a couple of weeks.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for joining me today. And so all things Joyfulness, I will make sure I put them on all the socials and everything. And next year, perhaps Soulfest, we'll have Joyfulness at Soulfest. So
thank you. Good luck with that.
TJ, thank you. We love you so much. You're a warm hug of a human being, my darling, and we adore you.
Thank you, darling. I'll see you both very soon. Lots of love. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you. Thank you.